All right, so this is going to be a spoilers video. So I already put the spoilers warning on the title. So don't complain to me about, oh, why are you spoiling the movie? Because clearly it says with the capital letters, spoilers warning. So at your own risk, I'm still giving you a chance. I'm giving you guys a time to stop the video. And do not watch this if you have not seen the movie Prey, okay? If you have seen it, then go right ahead and dive right into the conversation. But keep in mind, spoilers warning ahead. I warned you, not like I didn't. So keep that in mind. I don't want to hear anything on the comments down below. If you're watching this and you haven't seen the movie, it's on you, not on me. So, spoilers warning ahead. Prey. I've seen the Prey now for about a couple of times. I'm going to see it again probably today. And then I'll see it again tomorrow. And then when it comes on Disney Plus, I'll see it on Dolby Vision. So, what is Prey? Prey, it's a prequel to the Predator franchise movies. As you can see here, Hulu, it's a Disney partnered company owned by Disney. So Disney has the partnership with 20th Century Fox Studios. Well, it's not Fox anymore. It's not a News Corporation company. It's just the 20th Century, because the merger has become with the Disney. So Disney owns the 20th Century Studios. That means you're going to see all of the 20th Century Fox movies in the past be on a Disney and a Hulu, of course. And you're going to see, obviously, movies like Die Hard and stuff like that. And the Avatar sequel will be, obviously, on here as well, Way of Water. And a bunch of other James Cameron movies, Aliens, Alien, The Abyss, etc., etc., etc. So, Prey, it's a sequel to the Predator franchise, especially the successful Predator movie from 1987, which is right here. The Arnold Schwarzenegger and the entire cast, you know, Carl Weathers and Jesse Ventura, Shane Black, etc., etc. You know, Billy Duke. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. It's a classic movie, and the great Kevin Peter Hall, who portrayed the Predator alien. So, the Prey goes back 300 years. It's set in 1700s. It's about this Apache tribe somewhere out there in North America. I'm guessing probably Colorado, Montana, out there somewhere, right? Could be even Canada. So that's where the setting is in the movie. 300 years ago, 1700s. We get to learn about this small little Apache tribe. We get to learn about this girl, Ika, and her family, her friends. So the first 30 minutes of the movie, it's you getting introduced to this Apache tribe. It's a really nice setting. It kind of reminds me of Dances with the Wolves and also The Revenant. It has a nice, beautiful setting. The music, it's great. Soundtrack, it's awesome. I like it. It has a little bit of that Hans Zimmerish and James Horner type of sound, which is great. So in the first 30 minutes, you get to know who Ika is and her friends, her tribe, and you get to see her train, how to use the hatchet, how to use the bow and arrow, her skills, how to hunt, how to trap, and all of those skills that will come useful later on in the movie. Now, in the beginning, she also sees something in the sky, and she doesn't know what that is. You know, she sees something, you know, almost like a fireball coming through the skies. coming through the clouds. Actually, it's very cloudy, and you see this almost like a meteor coming through, but it's not a meteor. It's actually a spaceship that's passing through the clouds to drop off this predator to hunt its prey, because that's what these predators do. They like to prove themselves. They're collectors. They like to collect trophies, many different parts of the planet, many different parts of the world, and then they're like competing with each other. Like, they're very competitive species. Like, the best predator might win, right? And they're very competitive. So if you've never seen the Predator movies, maybe you should watch the previous Predator movies to understand why this predator species, it's very competitive warriors. So you see the predator being dropped from the spaceship. You see it, being, emerging from the cloak that it has, and you see the cloak as it emerges. It's big, giant size of this predator. You see a cloak emerging and appearing, disappearing, and to see the blades coming out, those famous blades. And that's when the movie starts. You see the credits, prey, and that's how the movie starts. Very nice setting. And then the next 30 minutes, it's pretty much you getting to know the tribe, you getting to know Ika and how she is training and preparing. And it's a nice setting, so that way you kind of understand that she's training, that she is learning, and she has training skills. All right, that's pretty cool that they did that in the movie. So it's believable. So when she goes to fight the predator, you can see that she has skills. She's very familiar with the nature. She's very familiar with her surroundings, and she's very smart. You have to be very smart to defeat this predator. And that's how Arnold did it. It wasn't because of his muscles. Sure, his muscles and guns, sure, helped. But it was really him being smart at the end that defeated the predator. He learned about the mud, and they cannot see with the mud when you put the mud on. And then Dutch Arnold, he, set up the booby traps for this predator to hunt him, and he outsmarted the predator, and that's why the predator at the end says, "Who the hell are you?" Because they're very competitive creatures. They're hunters. They're competitive, and they like competition. And Dutch Arnold was a competition for the predator. So same thing here with the prey, except it's set in 300 years ago, and we got this Native American girl, Ika, played by Amber Midthunder. She did a great job, by the way. So 30 minutes, you get to learn about her. You get to learn about her dog. Her dog, it's a very unique dog, very smart, and this dog will come into play later on in the movie, which I will mention. So you get to learn about her friends, her tribe. There's specifically this one friend of hers that it's very unique, also with skills, and he's teaching her certain skills, teaching her how to use the hatchet, teaching her how to, get out from the mud. There's a one scene in it's a little homage to the Predator, and I like that the Dan Trachtenberg actually did that he paid a little homage to the first movie in 1987, The Mud. It's just, if she only knew that the mud would have saved her. I mean, it would have saved all of them if they had used the mud. She didn't die in the movie. I'm just simply saying it would have saved her from the trouble she could have saved her friends and others if they had put on the mud. But of course, she didn't know that the mud, she doesn't know, they don't know that the mud makes it invisible for the predator to see you, of course. But I like that little homage that Dan Trachtenberg, film director, put in there to honor the first movie. And there's a mud in this movie, okay? And that's pretty cool that they did that. It's really cool. And there's also some other little Easter eggs where at one point when she faces a predator, you see Ika saying, come on, come on, come on, get me. You know, like almost like same thing with the Arnold, when Arnold says to the predator, I'm here, come on, kill me, I'm here. So there's these little little Easter eggs, little homage things that they put into the movie, which I like. So anyway, 30 minutes has passed in the movie. You get to learn about Ika, you get to learn about the tribe, you get to learn about the entire tribe community. You get to learn about her dog. You get to learn about Ika's skills. And now we go to the predator. And now this predator, it's a different kind of a predator than the one that you have seen in the first movie and the previous movies. This predator, it's a very unique brute force powerhouse predator. Okay, and you get to learn about this predator, how skilled he is. There's a one scene with a rattlesnake where the, excuse me, where the rattlesnake bites off the rat, eats the rat, and then the rattlesnake encounters a predator, cloaked predator, and rattlesnake tries to bite the predator, but before it gets the chance to bite it, the predator uses its blades, kills it, skins it, and collects it, because that's what they do. You also see a scene where a wolf tries to attack a predator, and predator challenges this wolf to attack him. So the wolf takes the challenge and marches on towards the predator, and the predator sliced him and kills him in such a brutal fashion. And this movie is very graphic. I just want to point that out. There's a lot of blood in this movie. It's very graphic. It's rated R. It's not PG-13. It's rated R. And it should be. It's a predator movie. And then you see the predator use his blades and skin the wolf and, you know, pull his spinal cord. And then you see him, you know, like he always does, like the predators do, clean the skull, make it nice and shiny, and then he attaches the head of the wolf onto his belt. Because that's what they do. They collect trophies. That's what predators do. In case you are not familiar with the predator universe and all that. So anyway, so we go back to Ika now. Ika's out there with her dog, and she's, you know, looking to hunt. She's going around looking for some tracks of the deers and stuff like that to see if she can find some, you know, buck to hunt, or a deer or whatever, or even a rabbit. Because, you know, you have to hunt and collect the meat so you can survive. With her dog, and she's going around with her dog, and she encounters this bear, all right? And then this bear, it's a huge bear. It's a huge grizzly bear, like very tall, huge grizzly bear. And then this bear, the dog alerts it. The dog starts barking. And this alerts the bear, and the bear starts marching on, running super fast. This bear is scary as hell. Like, this bear is freaking huge and scary. It's not a teddy bear. This is like some kind of a monster bear, like your worst nightmare kind of a bear you want to run into. And the reason why it looks so scary, the reason why it looks the way it looks, it's because it's a CGI bear. Now, I had a problem with this, and as I mentioned this, the CGI bear, it just doesn't look natural. You know, the way it runs, the way it walks, the way it jumps. You can tell it's a CGI bear, and it just doesn't. I'm not buying it. You know what I mean? Like the CGI bear, the whole CGI bear thing, I couldn't buy into. That's like the one thing that kind of bothered me. Like, why couldn't they use the real bear? Maybe because of the budget, you know, to train the bear, and maybe it would be too dangerous, you know, for the stuntman. So that, you know, so because the scene with the bear, I think the reason they didn't want to use a real bear, because there was a fight between the predator and the bear. Now we'll get to that. So this bear started chasing them, Ika and her dog, and then she goes into the she jumps into this lake, river, and she gets herself to this little trap, like a hideout nest trap or something. And then the bear is digging into that nest. I think it's some kind of protective nest from animals, from predators. And then this bear started digging into that trap, into that nest, whatever this is, like a little, I think it's a bear nest or something. And this bear started digging and digging and opening his huge jaws, trying to bite Ika. And then she's moving, leaning back, and then next thing you see is a predator comes in and pulls this bear and just drags it, throws it like a rag doll. And this is a huge bear, huge, powerful bear. And there's like this awesome fight scene between this huge bear and the predator. And then you find out, when you see this predator and this bear fight, you find out that, holy shit, this predator is truly a beast. It's like a Brock Lesnar on steroids, if you will. Think of it like a Brock Lesnar version of Predator. You know, it's very powerful, dude, super powerful. And there's this awesome fight between this bear, CGI bear, and the predator. And I think that's the reason why they use the CGI bear, because there would be no way that they could actually composite this. It'd be too dangerous for the stuntman to fight the bear, to lift the bear. They would have to lift the bear with a crane or something. It'd be just too dangerous, and it'd be too complicated. And I think this is the reason why Dan Trachtenberg decided to go with the CGI. Now, CGI is not bad. I just want to point this out, that the CGI version of this bear, it's not bad. I mean, it's good, but you know it's CGI. You know it's computer generated imagery. Okay, that's what CGI stands for. And you see them fight, and at the one point, this bear got the predator down and is trying to bite him and trying to mold him, and then you see predator lift him up and split him open with both hands, lift this huge freaking bear, lift him up, and then throw him down, and then collects him, drags him, and then of course, you know, does what he does, skins him, pulls his spinal cord, collect the trophy. And then you see, actually he was feeding. He opened the bear. No, I'm sorry. He opened the bear while he's holding him, and he started feeding on its blood. Like the blood started pouring all over this predator. And then Ika, it's watching this predator show his true self. with all this blood, pool of blood all over the predator. And it's such a freaking amazing scene. And then you see just how powerful and intimidating this predator is. It's like super intimidating. And you say, holy shit, how you gonna fight this damn thing? You know, that's what I was thinking. I was like, dude, there's no way she can fight this thing. I was like, holy fuck, dude. So yeah, now she runs away and she goes to the tribe, and she tells the tribe that there's this thing she saw that attacked the bear, this huge bear, and it was not a human, it was something else, and just killed the bear and opened him up and poured all that blood. It's almost like he was taking a shower with the blood, because it split the bear's stomach open and all the blood started pouring in. Very graphic. So the tribe doesn't believe her. They're like laughing at her, da 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 da. And then, long and behold, the tribe started noticing something around the forest. And next thing you know, the predator, it's on the trees, monitoring them and following them. The same predator, right? And then this predator started taking them one by one. It killed one guy, which is one of the tribe's Comanche guys. It killed him with some kind of like some arrows or something, some kind of metal arrows. Shot him in the eye and in the chest and the heart. And then there's this famous fight between the Apaches and the predator. And it was a good fight, actually. It also shows you how skilled the Apaches are, the Native American Apaches, and they were considered one of the most dangerous to fight, especially for the U.S. Army back then. You know, because that frontier. Well, that's for another subject. You know, the American history and United States and the U.S. Army, and then our fight between the Native Americans and these tribes, and that's for another subject. Go watch Dances with the Wolves, if you will, a Kevin Costner movie. So we get to see the skills that these Apaches had when they're fighting the predator, but sadly, the predator kills them all, obviously, because this predator, it's more skilled. It's more powerful. Like I said, killed that bear like it's nothing. And it also has more skills, has more weapons, more technology to fight, the more primitive native Apache tribe. Also very skilled. Yes, they're primitive. They're native 300 years ago tribes, but they have skills, but nothing that they can, withstand with this predator. So this predator kills them all. And then you see Ika trying to run away. She runs away. I forgot to mention that they tied her up. She was tied up because there was some kind of a argument that she had with one of the tribes, and she had a little fight with one of the tribe's leaders, the Apache leaders, and then they tied her up, and she didn't agree with them. Like, she wanted to do her own thing. And then after she witnessed this predator and what this predator did, she started running away. And as she ran away, she goes into this big grassy field, and then one of her friends, Apache friends, tell her to come down, like, stay down. They cannot see you. He cannot see you in this grass field. But little do they know is that the predators have these heat sensor vision, and they can detect heat. So obviously the predator already knows where they are. And at one point they tried to use the bow and arrow, and that obviously didn't work. So this Apache, friend of hers started running, and Ika started running, but unfortunately the predator is much faster. This predator is super fast, and he kills her friend, obviously. and you see the brutality of that. Now Ika come across from the grass fields into this other parts of the forest, and see she gets trapped by an animal trapping, by the one of those like wolf trappings on her legs, and she got trapped and her leg is stuck with a chain and she can't move, and she's like, uh-oh. But here's the interesting part. The predator comes in, cloaked in, and he sees that she is trapped, that she has the trap and the chain attached to her leg. And he just lifts the chains, looks at it, and he drops it. And he doesn't kill her. Because remember, they only kill in competition. Okay, they have this honor, all right? Like, they don't kill an unarmed prey. It has to be competition. Like, you got to show them that you're competitive. If you're not competitive, if you don't have any weapons on you, if you are unarmed and you are, trapped, then they're not going to kill you, because that's not what they do. They're competitive, and that's the cool thing that you get to kind of learn in this movie, that they're not some monsters killing for no reason. These predators are very competitive, and they're looking for competition. And you learn that in a Predator 2, like in Danny Glover movie, which I recommend that you guys go see the Danny Glover movie, Predator 2, which I'm going to watch again. And that's being explained on the Predator 2, at the end of the Predator 2, with Danny Glover. So now she's trapped, and then you see these guys coming in with the guns, and they're not English. I don't know who they are. Are they Norwegian? Are they Swedish? Are they Canadian, French? I don't know. But they speak in some kind of a foreign language, and they come in with the guns, and they have guns, they have rifles, and they capture Ika. Now, while Ika is captured in the cage and all that, she gets to learn about these guys, who these guys are, that they're like very brutal individuals. They set up a camp. And like I said, I don't know who these individuals are. It's a foreign language. It's not like they tell you who they are. But they're not really kind individuals, because they're like stealing stuff. They're like torturing people and stuff like that. So they're not really, they're like kind of like a barbarians almost, but they're not barbarians, but like just different types of barbarians, if you will, with the guns. Okay. And the movie never really tells you who they are, because, I don't know the language. I don't know which language this is, some kind of a Latin language, gibberish, but it doesn't really matter. She's captured by them. Now the predator already knows that she's captured by this group. And then, she's in there in the cage at night. You see her, and she's, helpless inside this cage. So in the morning, the predator comes in and starts taking these this camp of these foreigners with the guns, and it's a really amazing fight, man. This is probably one of the coolest. Next to the bear scene, I would say this is one of my favorite scenes. Is second favorite scene. So the bear scene, fight between the bear, and then this camp scene. It's very, very awesome, dude. The way this predator takes on this camp of these foreigners, and you don't really feel sorry for them, because they're kind of pieces of shit. They're not really nice people. They're like assholes, so you're like, okay, you're enjoying the fact that the predator is taking them one by one. But the way the predator takes them on, it's done in such a great fashion. It's such an amazing fashion. and you see the technology that the predator has, you see the skills that this predator has, and Ika sees that, and she sees what type of weapons she's monitoring this predator. That's the cool thing about this movie. Ika is observing this predator, and she's learning about him, because the best way to defeat an enemy is to know your enemy, right? If you want to defeat an enemy, you got to learn about your enemy. You got to learn about their skills. You got to learn about their weaknesses, their positives, their negatives. You got to learn about their weapons, their technology. That is the only way to defeat an enemy, is to learn about your enemy. And she's observing this predator. She's learning. Remember, she's in this cage, and she's looking at this predator and all that, the way it's taking this groups of people. Excuse me, she was not in a cage. I'm sorry. She was already out of the cage. She was tied up to a tree. I'm sorry. She was tied up to a tree because her other friend got captured. Her other friend that was training her, her Apache friend that was training her how to fight, how to use the bow and arrow, how to use the hatchet, how to get yourself out of the mud. So they're tied up to a tree and they're talking, and she says to him, "Don't worry, this creature is not going to attack us, is not going to kill us, because we're captured, we're tied up to a tree. It's not interested in that." So she already knows that, so she's not worried. And then you get to see this predator fight. You get to see how competitive this predator is, how huge it is. Okay, and it starts killing these people who are in this camp. These armed, they're all armed, they all have weapons, okay? They're shooting at him. Remember, the predator only kills those who are armed, who have weapons. Like in the first movie, all of the unit, all the entire unit in the Predator movie, they had weapons, they're armed. So of course, it's a competition. So I already mentioned that they're very competitive. Predators are very competitive. And you get to see all of that. And the way this predator, you see the huge size and how big this predator is. And it takes off the enemy. They start shooting with him with the rifles, and he uses this shield, pretty cool fucking shield. I'm sorry for the language. Pretty cool shield that comes out, and it defends itself from the bullets, and then uses some other weapons that it has, with these little metal arrows that goes in and sliced these individuals, these foreigners. Let's call them the foreigners. And you see some similar stuff that was there before. You see this what you call it, this nest, this metal nest that squeezes you in and crushes you. You see some familiar weapons that we have seen in the previous Predator movies, so that's a nice little homage. And you also see that he has a mask that he put on, that he collected as a trophy, that he put it on. And then you also see that the mask comes off with the Predator as he's killing these foreigners. Let's call them foreigners with the guns, and kills them all of them, just in a brutal fashion. I'm not going to detail, but it kills them in a very fucking awesome, brutal fashion. So now Ika and her friend, they cut loose from the tree that they were tied in, and they see the face of this predator. Now, me personally, the first time I saw this movie, I kind of had a problem with the way the predator looked. I don't know, like I was really expecting the predator to kind of look similar to the first predator and the previous predator. But then the second time I was watching it, I'm like, okay, I can buy into this. Just like humans, we have different shapes. We have different shapes of features and all that. So So I'm kind of like, I'm over that. Like, I accept that. Okay, we have, maybe predators, just like humans, have different features, different sizes. Look at Brock Lesnar. Look at all these other wrestlers. They look different. Andre, the Giant, the Great. So I accept that now, that there's different types of predators, and they look different. But this predator, truly, it's a beast, okay? And now her friend started fighting this predator. And again, the skills that these Apaches possess are pretty cool. They're very skillful, and you get to appreciate the Apache tribe in this movie. They really paid an homage to the Native Americans and to Apache tribe. And even though the predator, it's more skillful, more powerful, has more technology, better weapons, a more advanced weaponry, but you still appreciate the skills that these Apaches had with what they had. And that's the one thing that I really appreciate about this movie, is the skills that these Apaches have. And you see that the way this Apache friend of Ika, it's fighting this predator, and it gets him. He's riding on a horse, and at one point he uses his spear, the predator spear, that somehow the predator dropped, and he picked it up from the horse, and then this Apache stabs him right on the shoulder. And then it was such a cool scene, man, the way he jumped on him and stabs the predator with this big giant spear. And then you see the predator pulling the spear out, and then the fight goes on. And then you see this friend of Ika, this Apache, very skilled Apache that trained her, that was showing her all the skills earlier in the movie, started throwing some more bows and arrows, and then those arrows hits a predator a couple of more times, and he's hurt. Predator now is hurt, and he's pissed. So now it's on. It's a competition. And then finally, the predator gets a hold of this friend of hers, and it drops him down to the ground. And he didn't kill him yet. He just kind of wounded him. And then he turns around and he looks at Ika, and Ika pointed a gun at him, like one of those musket guns. And the predator just looking at her, and she hasn't fired a shot, and he's just looking at her. And while she's looking at her, her friend who was wounded grabs the, remember that wolf, that skull of the wolf with the jaws and the fangs that he collected? He takes it from his belt, from the predator's belt, and he shoves it right into his wound. And, predator starts screaming, and he turns around, and then he kills him. Right? He kills her friend. Now, predator turns around to look to see where is Ika, and as the predator turns around, Ika is gone. So now, Ika, it's setting up the booby traps. Like, this is a great thing, because it pays a little homage to Arnold Schwarzenegger. If only she knew that the mud would help her even more. But anyway, now she sets up all the booby traps. She sets up the traps and the mud for this predator to fall right into. And she did. And she goes in with her dog. It's at night. It's a little homage to the first Predator. So anyway, Predator comes in and she's calling him, come on, do it. I'm here. It's a little homage to the first Predator, which is cool. I like that the director, Dan Trachtenberg, did that. So Predator comes in, he's looking around, and he falls into this trap, into this mud. And Ika is watching as the Predator falls into this mud. Right? It's a pretty cool scene. But of course, this is a huge Predator. That little mud pit's not going to do much to the 7'8" giant huge Predator. And of course, the predator comes out from the mud in a pretty cool fashion, pretty cool scene. And now they're fighting. So Ika is starting to use her skills with a hatchet and her dog. And she's setting up some more traps for it. And at one point, Ika uses his mask that she picked up when it fell off while they were fighting. She picks up his mask. And when she picks up his masks, she realizes that the mask that this predator is using has like a guided laser thing for the those little blades that come out. So she used, because see, that's the beauty about this movie. Ika was observing this predator, and she was learning on its weapons, she was learning on its technology, she was learning on how it hunts. So that's the cool thing about this movie, that Ika was observing this predator the whole time. So now the prey is the predator versus predator. Now this prey, it's a competitive prey and a very tough prey for the predator. So Ika uses the same mask that guides like a laser guiding this these blades, and she throws it to the dog, and this dog uses it and starts circling around, and the blade cuts his arm, and you see this arm goes out. So now the predator doesn't have only has one arm now, doesn't have a second arm. It's being cut off. Now the fight is cool and everything, but my only problem is it's the way she killed the predator at the end. You know, again, she uses his mask and the laser guided technology to kill this predator. But what drives me crazy is, why would this predator do that if he knows that she already has this mask and that the laser guided technology is there, like laser guided technology is there on the mask? Why would he fire? He would have taken that equipment out, right? He would have throw it out. He wouldn't, like in the first movie, you know, the predator took it all off. Usually they would self-detonate, right? So that's the one problem that I had with it's just the ending, the way she killed the predator, because these predators are smart. They're not idiots. And why would this predator let that happen? Why would he let, even though he knows that she got the mask, and why would he fire? Why would he fire these blades, right? Or these metal arrows or whatever it was that came out? Because it was kind of hard to see. Why would he fire that, knowing that she already has that mask and she fetched it to the dog? Why would he take that risk? Normally the predator would have taken that technology off, that equipment, threw it away, and then fight, you know, hand-to-hand combat like in the first movie with a predator, right? So that's why, to me, the first Predator is more realistic. It's a hand-to-hand combat now. Okay, we're not going to use weapons, we're not going to use this technology, let's just fight hand-to-hand combat. So that's my only problem that I had in the movie, is the ending. Okay, CGI bear, I can overlook that, fine, whatever. But this at the end, the way she killed the predator, it's something that I think it's what sucked. You know, everything was great except the ending. That's where they kind of screwed it up to me. They could have done a better job with the ending of the predator. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you who have seen the movie will agree, yeah, this predator deserves a better ending, a better death, instead of just being killed like stupidly like this. Because again, we already know that these predators are smart, they're intelligent, they're skilled, and they know how their weapons technology works. So why would they fire these blades if they already know that she has them, and she fetched it to the dog, and dog is circling around? Unless he didn't realize that the dog took it, you know. But still, why would you fire these laser guided blades if you know that you don't have a mask to guide it with. Don't use that equipment, throw it away. So I can have that argument. Maybe this is for a debate. Maybe you guys can have your own conversations about this down in the comments. But that kind of troubled me. So everything was great. Mine is that, CGI bear fine. But the ending, it's where kind of I'm like, and then she cuts off his head at the end of the movie, and she brings the trophy. She brings the trophy of this predator that she killed. She brings it, and she brings it to the tribe, and that's the ending. Now I think this is where this movie requires a sequel. Now they're gonna send another predator, because they're like, okay, this girl Iki is very smart, very intelligent. Let's see how she operates when we send multiple predators, more skillful multiple predators. Let's see how she operates. And I think that would be great for a sequel, if they ever make a sequel. So sorry that this is a long video, but it has to be, and it's a spoilers warning review. Like I said, I like the movie. I've seen the second time. I'll watch it again. I like it, but my only problem is the ending, because it doesn't make any sense, because this predator, it's very intelligent, very smart. Why would he use those laser guided blades, even knowing that his mask is taken? That she already got that mask. So normally the predator would have taken off that equipment and would have fight her hand-to-hand combat like it did in the first movie. So it's a good movie, but of course the ending could have been better. Okay, and this is something that I think everyone will talk about, the ending of the movie. So there you have it. It's a good movie, but then again, the ending, it's like they could have done better. And I don't understand why they came up with this idea. I don't know if they were in a hurry or something, but the ending should have been better, man. We should have had a much, much better ending. And I don't understand what happened. Maybe they were in a hurry and they were running out of time or whatever. But it's a good movie. It's not a bad movie. It's a good movie. It's not the greatest movie. Of course, the first movie is still the greatest, obviously. But this is not bad. This is good. I think sequel would be great. My only thing is the ending. And I'm pretty sure everybody will agree that the ending could have been better. The ending could have been a hell of a lot better. That's all. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this. Spoilers warning. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. I want to hear your opinions on this. And let me know about the ending. Like, do you agree? Do you agree that the ending could have been better or kind of sucked? It didn't make any sense. Like, I personally believe that the ending could have been better. But hey, it is what it is. So there you have it. That's my spoilers warning review of the movie. Thank you for watching.